they don't want to release any information. And Japanese government just, they placed the law called the Secret Protection Law on the December of 2015. This will target any media and journalist that if we release any information that a government, if the government decides that it's not favorable to the government, they could put us in jail for up to 10 years and a fine for the $200,000. So basically the Japanese journalists and the media, they stopped talking about it. And my challenge is to where to draw the line so I don't go to jail. Or I don't get fined for $200,000. So this, I'm kind of gradually testing the audience and also the regulator, that where do I need to put the line. So it's still, and I'm talking to the expert and lawyers and constant consulting, but I'm going to try to push it as much as I can, but without going to jail. So yeah, thank you.
My project didn't take that long, relative to some documentaries, about three to 4 months. My biggest obstacle was that, again, the raw video was shot 7 years ago of Dorothy, and that interview was not shot with as good a camera as I shot the rest of the video with. Plus, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a little bit of crackling on Dorothy's audio, and the problem was that Dorothy was wearing a scarf and she kept rubbing the microphone against the scarf. And I kept trying to play with the audio, trying to get the crackling out. I couldn't quite get it all out, but some of it. And also color correcting things and trying to match with the other video that I shot. So it was more of a technical problem.
Yoko, that's really great. It kind of segues, you were talking about the nuclear industry being very secretive. But through your documentary, you exposed three nuclear plants. And then you went on to say, quote, "I wonder what will happen to the future of Japan, the world." And exposing the 3 power plants, you then went to say, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Where do you foresee this kind of secretive kind of hold on us? How long will it last, or can we finally expose and do more stories and documentaries on this?
I think I can. And luckily, out of those 3 power plants that I mentioned, one is upstate New York. They just announced about 2 weeks ago they're going to close by 2021, which is a huge victory for the New York residents. But at the same time, people cannot forget, even after they close, the still nuclear waste is on site, which means that Ms. Danielle Hirsch mentioned that about 500,000 years there's still danger, because we do not have any technology to safely dispose of the nuclear waste. So that's the biggest challenge that we are facing. So all those nuclear power plants that come up and, okay, we're gonna close. Sanofi, they already closed. This New York, they just announced it. Also up in Deer Canyon also, they announced that they're gonna close. I think it's by 2020. But still all those wastes are on site, which means that we are living in those nuclear bomb on our neighborhood, because it's the same radioactive isotope, which is plutonium. That's what they use. They use to make nuclear weapon. So we cannot forget about it. So, so that's what we really, as a world, we face the challenge. And then the biggest obstacle, I think, is that as far as the nuclear power plant is concerned, how can we come up to safely dispose those nuclear waste? That is the biggest challenge that we're going to have to face for tens of hundreds of years. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to come up with that solution soon.
Did your documentary get coverage or a tie-in with that recent close down news of the power plant? Did they tie it back to your documentary? Were you tagged in some Twitters or social media posts?
No, I didn't. Well, the thing is this. I've been submitting this, my film to festivals all over the world, and I had a quite good acceptance rate in European countries, and also the West Coast, which I really appreciate this film festival to show my film. But back in the state of New York or the East Coast, it really shut down. No one wants to show this film, which is because the nuclear power plant is in this country, as far as in this country is concerned, most of the power plants are in the East Coast, and in fact, they're constructing the new power plants in Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. So, and then also the state of New York, I think it's just too much to release the information. So, because, like I said, it's 20 million people could have affected. So.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry you had a little radiation sickness.
Thank you.
One of the quotes was, we have a question, yep. Okay, sure. One of the quotes was, "My home will give me cancer." That was a very, very powerful and also a very painful quote to hear. And you trying to give us answers and information. You yourself, unfortunately, got the radiation sickness, but you're okay now. But how was that like, coming home and feeling sick, but you knew you were doing a good cause? Can you elaborate on that?
In a way, I was kind of glad that I had that downtime, because I didn't rush to how I'm going to approach this problems that are what's going on in Fukushima. At the beginning, I only focused on Fukushima, and I noticed the rest of the world is not going to really pay attention, because at the end of the day, majority of the audience will think about, okay, that's someone else's problem, that's not my problems. So, I mean, that's really the reality. No matter how much I try to tell the Fukushima problems, the rest of the world is not going to listen. So I decided to tie directly into the problems of the nuclear power industry worldwide, because it's much, much danger and bigger than Fukushima and Chernobyl, and people just don't know about it because there aren't that many information out there. So, like I said, I'm kind of glad that I had that downtime to rethink and restructure and everything.
Thank you. Question?
That was a great segue. I really appreciated that you shared it as a global concern to wake people up. One of the scientists mentioned that the technology is in place for us to change our power supply, essentially, but that it's really a social issue, and that it's going to take social change. So, do you have any insights, or like do you have any advice on what we can do as individuals and to create that social change?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that question. It's very important. A lot of people came up to me, and then what about United Nations? Why don't they get involved? Can we go to United Nations? And this is, again, not many people don't know about it, so I will tell what's going on with United Nations. Why don't they do anything about it? Because basically the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, and WHO, World Health Organization, are under United Nations umbrella. So they're brothers and sisters. So that's a sad part. That's why United Nations doesn't come in and they don't do anything about it. So what does that lead us into? Is the local activity. Talk to the local politician and go to the talk to the energy company and protest, and it takes years and years and a lot of time and energy commitment. That's how they did it. San Onofre, also Diablo Canyon, and also the the New York, the Indian Point. But it takes a lot of courage and also the commitment to do this. But we can do it. Like I said, the problem is the waste. Even after they close it, we don't have technology to safely dispose those waste. So scientists has to come up, but it costs a lot of money to do it, and the governments are not willing to funding those scientists. So that's I think the next challenge, that how we're gonna have to come up with it. So that's the next challenge.
Eric, do we have time still for?
I want to ask a question, that's why I'm actually holding it. I know you think I'm trying
Who
to
are
wrap
you?
it up.
Who are you?
You're like, Scott, are you trying to wrap it up?
This is Scott Erickson, our president of Asians on Film. Scott, you have a question.
And it's true, I never ask questions, but I'm still going to ask one because Brett, and I didn't ask this when I talked to you already, but I've seen a number of films on the Manzanar internment camps, and they've come through. But the one thing about your film that was different than other films that I've seen, and so I just wanted you to comment on this, is sort of the after effects of, I mean, you know, we all know what happens when people are in internment camps and how horrible they are and whatever, but then you have life after that, and you had parts in your film about all of the things that affected the family, suicide, other things. So I wondered if you could like talk about that, and if there was more in your film, perhaps about all of the ramifications of how it affected family beyond.
Sorry, let me think about that for a bit. I mean, for my grandmother, she didn't, because of her, where she went to, Harrington is such a small town, she kind of just forgot about the experiences there. It was more the absence of her parents, as what she felt. It's said in the film, she mentions a bit about how she didn't feel the loss, and she had this disconnect because she was so young. And I know I asked her about reparations, and for her too, she thought that belonged to her parents, and it didn't belong to her, because as a child, she didn't feel ownership to what was taken from her. I don't think that's answering the question. Yeah, it was, I guess the effect it had on my family is more that they're passing it down to us, which is also why I made the film. So it's actually in turn on both sides of my family, on both paternal and maternal. And so that's, if we talk about family, that's kind of how I was affected, is that it was both sides that taught me about it. And that it's part of our family history, and we need to prevent it from happening again. Is more preventative than like looking at it as trying to think of how to positively use that experience to influence the future, I guess.
Well, we are all artists, entertainers, but we're also real people. These documentaries, I think every one of us, whatever genre we want to specialize in, animation, comedy, drama, I think each and every one of us needs to somehow be involved in a documentary. We've heard great stories. They're all real. I'd like to thank our panelists. We are now going to transition to our next event, which is another panel. But ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our filmmakers. And remember, on your way out, so if you were in this screening, your ticket doubles as the Audience Choice Award, so tear off which film you'd like to vote for. We'll see you on the way out. Remember our awards ceremony tomorrow at 915 Mateo Street. There'll be drinks, live DJ, music. But ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stephen Chun on behalf of Asians on Film. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.